Welcome to our daily reflection for this Sunday, January 14th. And of course, it's the Lord's Day, the day of the resurrection. And so we always have a sense of joy and festivity on these Sundays, these Lord's Days, day of rest and for prayer. And of course, prayer fits the first reading, which is the story at the beginning of 1 Samuel of the prophet Samuel getting the call of God and hearing God speak to him. And so he's taught by the priest this great line, "Speak, Lord, for your servant listens." And we want to listen to God in prayer. And if we do so, that'll help us understand better the gospel reading, which is going to be about the secret of evangelization. What is it that makes evangelization happen? I think that's something that for many of us Catholics seems really mysterious. What evangelization? We're not used to that as Catholics, right? Well, the gospel gives us a very practical vision into evangelization, and it's the early evangelization. It's how Jesus got his first few disciples. So how does it happen? Well, John the Baptist is with a couple of his disciples, Andrew and John, and he sees Jesus and he says to his disciples, "Behold the Lamb of God." John highlights Jesus to his disciples, and then at that moment, they start to follow Jesus. And they follow Jesus, and then they ask him a question. They say, "Rabbi," because he says, "What are you looking for?" And they say, "Rabbi, where are you staying?" And he says, "Come and see." And so then they do that. And then Andrew gets to know Jesus. And that first encounter will be so powerful that Andrew, a little bit later on, will go and find his brother Simon Peter, Simon will be named Peter later. He goes to Simon and he says, "We have found the Messiah." And then he brings Peter, or Simon, to Jesus. And so the question for us is, who have we brought to Jesus Christ? And all it takes is, evangelization is the same as introductions. Introducing one person to another. That's exactly what evangelization is. We're introducing Jesus to others, and others to Jesus. And so, John Paul had a great way of saying it. He said there's only two things you need to know to do evangelization well. You need to know Jesus Christ and modern man and woman and their hopes, desires, fears, and anxieties. And so if we know modern people and we know Jesus, we can introduce the two. And that's what Andrew does. So Andrew teaches us, as well as John the Baptist, what the secret of evangelization is. It's introducing people that we know to Jesus Christ. Not necessarily going door to door with strangers, not that that's a bad thing, but there also is, before we go to strangers, we need to go to those in our circle of family and friends and make sure that we've shared with them about Jesus. That is something to think about so that we can be evangelists like Andrew and John. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.